include your full name and the location you are sending your message from. Let's also inform you, dear listener, that Perspectives is streaming live on all our social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube. Kindly search out Agate Radio on YouTube and on Facebook and follow the live stream conversation. You may as well drop your comments or questions on that live stream link if they are related to the subject matter we are focusing on. We'll take it as your contribution. We'll go on a short break, and once we are back, we'll begin our engagement with our discussants who are already seated in the studio. Please don't go away. Kindly stay tuned, dear listener. Welcome back from that short break, and thank you very much for being there, dear listener. I'd like to begin, and let me begin with you, Engineer Kogia. Kindly give us your assessment of what is the policing structure of the country over time.
Well, the policing structure in Nigeria started even from the time of our colonial rule, and it continues till now. I'm not a professional police person. I'm in a different section, but it is a responsibility of that form of law enforcement unit to investigate issues, charge people to court if that is need be. As I've told you, a professional policeman will know better, but they also have the responsibility of protecting lives and property. In a nutshell, as simple as it is.
Okay. Barrister Andy, give us your thoughts from a legal point of view. The Nigeria Police Force over time has been established. And in terms of the legality of its operation, can you walk us through what you understand about its operating structure, policing?
Yeah, thank you very much. The Nigerian Police Force was established by virtue of Section 204 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Before the 1999 Constitution came into effect, we already had policing structures even before the pre- and post-colonial eras. But the current police structure, Nigerian Police Force, established by virtue of Section 214 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the Constitution makes it a single police force, meaning that the operations of the Nigerian Police Force will take effect both at the national level and across the 36 states of the 36 states, including the Federal Capital Territory. So the police force has been in existence for quite a number of years. And if you ask me whether I am satisfied with that operation so far, I will simply say that I am not satisfied for reasons that I may advance. One of it is that a population of Nigeria of over 223.8 million Nigerians, and you have a police force that is less than 350,000 police officers, then means that there is so much to be desired. There's so much to be desired. And so you have less than a police force that is up to 1 million. Even 1 million is still inadequate. And you have that kind of number, the number is quite insignificant to police a large population of Nigerians. So I will say that even though the police operations have been a bit satisfactory, we have not gotten to the point where we can say that we're there. So there is still much to be done in terms of the Nigerian Police Force.
Okay, Engineer Kogia. Also, you just listened to your colleague, Barrister Andy, who said the manpower, the personnel of the Nigerian Police Force is grossly inadequate compared to the population of Nigerians. Is there something you would like to add to this in terms of what you observe of the personnel of the Nigerian Police Force?
I thank God for Barrister Andy and his contribution. You see, I don't know whether I'm correct, I wouldn't know, but they say the average population of the per a single person, a police person should be, is it 100 or 300 or whatever it is. If you divide the number that the learned colleague gave, you divide 230 million Nigerians by 300,000 police, much is yet to be desired. So the government, I know with time, we shall look to that. And with the current situation of insecurity, the federal government should take seriously the need to increase the number of policemen and also improve their welfare so that those who are already there can be encouraged and the new ones coming in. You don't fight crime. You don't fight insecurity on empty stomach. So I'm not in the best position to plead with the government to do the needful, but they have experts. They know what is on the ground. And for God's sake, whatever is needed to let us have peace in this country, for God's sake, let's do it.
Okay.
Let me just add to what he said.
Please, go ahead.
When I get the statistics or the numbers to be 350,000,
yes,
I just want to draw your attention to the fact that the 350,000 policemen are not policing our state capitals and our communities. You have quite a number of them policing or serving as VIPs, serving as protective details to very important persons. You also have a large number of the police officers also manning commercial centers. So if you take away those who are with VIPs and you take away those that are manning commercial centers in Nigeria, then you have a number that is far less than the number that I called, that are left with the responsibility of guiding or protecting or ensuring law and order in our communities. For a population of that number, is quite insignificant.
Okay. Engineer Kogia, the structure of the police, at the moment, the commanding structure is at the headquarters in Abuja. There have been calls over time for it to be decentralized. State commands are there, but oftentimes the commanding structure comes from Abuja. Governors, in some instances, have even said they cannot even command a commissioner of police in their state. Commissioners of police are commanded from Abuja by the Inspector General of Police to carry on action. Given the circumstance, would you advocate for a decentralized police force?
Thank you very much, sir. The decentralization of police structure, whether you decentralize it or not, is still on the exclusive list of the federal government. Even if you decentralize to a point that each local government has an AIG or a police commissioner, it is still controlled by the federal government. As it is now, they have the police commissioners, they have the zones. I don't know exactly, but I see such nomenclatures. It is good, but I believe with the dynamism of the military and law enforcement agent, much can be done. Much can be done to be improved upon that structure if there is need. And let it be done so that we have less crime in our society.
Okay.
You were asking about the structure
Yes.
of the Nigerian police assistance by virtue of the provisions of our constitution. The operational command and control of Nigerian police forces under the Inspector General of Police, and you have him only one. Section 215 makes provisions for him. It states that there shall be an Inspector General of Police who, subject to Section 216, sub 2 of the Constitution, shall be appointed by the President on advice of the Nigerian Police Council. So apart from that, for administrative purposes of administrative ease, Nigerian police force is divided into 7 departments. You have the first one is you have the Department of Finance and Administration. You have the Department of Logistics and Supply. You have the Force Criminal Investigation Department. You have the Department of Planning and Information. You have the Department for Training. You have the Department also for Communication and Technology. And all these departments, there are about 7 departments, and are headed by the Deputy Inspector General of Police. And then you have another 17 operational zonal commands. Each is headed by an Assistant Inspector General of Police. You understand? And then you also have the 36 states which are manned by the police commissioners. You also have area commands and you have divisional police commands. So you can see this is where the command flows from the IG of police down to the 7 departments which are headed by the Deputy Inspector General of Police, up to the zonal commands headed by the AIG, up to the command, up to the Commissioner of Police, and then you have the zonal area, you have the DPO. So commands, chain of commands flow up to that point. So by the time you get to, you must follow that way. They are very sacrosanct about it. Yes. You can't jump any of the areas. That's how command flows. The AIG gives command to the DIG to the AIG, and to the departments, the 7 departments, down to the AIG zona, down to the Commissioner of Police, down to the area command, down to the DPO, before it comes to police post. You understand?
Yes.
So it's quite cumbersome because you can't take decisions as swift as you think you should do, because these are regimented agencies. So they follow that chain of command. There's no distortion. You must follow that genealogy. You must follow that tree of command without breaking in any way. So that's what happens.
So at the moment, with regards to the structure as it is,
yes,
will you advocate for a decentralized police force so that the commanding structure does not follow from the top as you pointed out?
I don't know if I get you right. Are you asking about decentralization in terms of
their presence in the communities and even the commanding structure having not necessarily to come from Abuja?
They are already there. They are already there. You have zonal commands you have divisional police commands at the local government headquarters, and you have police outposts in various sections of our communities. But what we're asking is that it's not as if every decision that the DPO has to take, he must revert back to the Commissioner of Police or the AIG. He has been given that implied instructions to take decisions, except where a matter is outside his own jurisdiction or outside the spelled out powers. He can direct them to the Commissioner of Police. There is a chain of command. The problem is not the chain of command. The problem is the inadequacy of the number. That is it. Because if you go to the remotest area of our villages, you will still find police posts in those areas. So the issue is not the command. The issue is the personnel. We don't have enough police officers to man these areas. You will go to a village, for instance, if you go to Gwe local government, you go to Lam, which is an outskirt of the local government. You will also see an outpost of police. Police outpost there, but you have less than 3 police officers manning that area, and you have a population of about 200 and something persons within that particular locality. How will the 2 police officers be able to police that area effectively? That's the issue. It's not about the command. It's about the personnel. A country of about 230 million people, and then you have a police force that is less than 400. There's no way they can perform magic. So the issue is not in the command. The issue is in the personnel. Whether you decentralize, that's an implied decentralization, because it is not every decision. It is not every decision that must flow from the top to the bottom. They already have implied decisions. They are spelled out guidelines for policing. And so the DPO has the right within the spelled out or within the specific instructions or directive given to him by the Commissioner of Police or the zonal commander to take decisions in respect of certain subject matter. The moment it is beyond him, he reverts back to either the area command or the police commissioner himself. So there are departments. It's segmented into departments. And so decision making is not all that cumbersome. The issue is that, do we have enough police officers to man our communities? That's the question.
And that is what we're interrogating. Engineer Kogia, I am with you now. With that, let's interrogate. Just yesterday, President Bola Tinubu met with the 36 state governors across the country in Abuja. And top on the debate was the need for the creation of state police. The Minister of Information, who briefed journalists, informed them that they are considering this, informed journalists that the president and the governors are putting this on the front burner now, giving a consideration for the creation of state police. It has been an ongoing debate for a long time now. Nigerians have been advocating for creation of state police. With this coming from the president and the governors now, do you see the light of the day concerning creation of state police?
Thank you very much. I see the light of the day in the creation of state police. Because if we have the will to do it, and if we weigh the pros and the cons and we see that it is good to created. It can be created, but it's not a one-man show. The governors are to be involved, the House of Assembly, the upper chamber, the lower chamber, and the upper chamber are to be. In fact, it's the whole nation, the opinion of the whole nation, including the legislature, to be involved. It's not a military junta that will say, okay, tomorrow this state have your police force, have your own something. It has to be legislated. It has to be documented. It has to be the opinions and the opinions of the people are to be sought, especially the governors, as I've said, the upper chamber, the lower chamber. Almost every Nigerian is involved.
Okay. And if all Nigerians are involved, like you were pointed out, what kind of direction should our state police go? Should there be a universal, a national template for all the state police to go with, or each state should go in line with what is their peculiar security challenges?
There will be a general rule for those operations of the police. And then down the state, we have peculiar needs and there will be a general rule, but there will be also each state having its own peculiarities that will operate it in a way that it will help the society, that country. Because when you have the state police, number one, the members of that force are members of that state. They know the environment. They have grown up in those areas. They know the peculiarities, whether the states are on the border countries with other people or other states. So they should operate in a way that in those states there should be peace. And all this crisis and the confliction should be reduced to the barest minimum.
All right. Barrister Andy, share your thoughts with us. The debate about creation of state police drew fresh attention following the outcome of President Bola Tinubu's meeting with the governors.
Yeah, that's a very commendable effort and progress. The clamor for the creation of state police has been there. This is not the first time. It only needed the willpower of the president to have taken it. Buhari came, it was there. Obasanjo came, it has been there for quite some time. Even the reports, the committees that have been constituted in the past, also most of them, very many of them recommended the creation of state police. But you see, the issue of state police is not a one-man affair. It is not entirely the duty of the president. Neither is it only the duty of the president and the 36 governors, including the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. It also involves the effort of the National Assembly as well as critical stakeholders for it to be done, and then the general public. Because at the level of the president, fine and good, he can do it because he's the president and he has the willpower. Then you go to the National Assembly, you have to amend certain provisions of the law to incorporate or to accommodate this state police. Because Section 214 of the Constitution says there shall be a police force for Nigeria, which shall be known as the Nigerian Police Force. And subject to the provisions of this section, no other police force shall be established for the federation or any part thereof. That's what the provision says. That you cannot. The only recognizable force in Nigeria is the Nigerian Police Force, as provided under Section 214. So, one, you will need to amend the Constitution. Section 214, we have to go. Then you also have to go and look at the exclusive legislative list to also make provision giving or enabling the state governors also to legislate on security. So it is not a one-day thing. It is going to be a conscious and strategic attempt and the willingness to be able to achieve this. But even though it is achieved, it also has its own pros and cons.
We'll weigh that.
Yes,
we'll
look at that as well.
Yes.
But I'm saying that the issue of state police is not a one-day thing. It is an ongoing discussion. Just the same way the president said, he said discussions will go on. He said discussions will go on. Because if you look at the police, Nigerian Police Council, 39 members, 36 are the 36 governors. They are members of the Nigerian Police Council. So it means that right from the word go, they had the powers to have legislated or have had inputs in appointment and removal of the Inspector General of Police. But they don't activate those powers. So much discussion will have to go on. So it is not going to be a one-day thing. But I appreciate, even people who are against state police are beginning to embrace it. They are beginning they're now converts. They're getting to see the need for state police. One of them was the former National Security Advisor, Gusau. He was one of the strong voices that opposed state police, as well as the PDP state governor. They oppose it. Gusau has accepted it while he was speaking at the inauguration of the community policing guards in Zamfara State. He said, yes, there is the need for state police. PDP governors, when they visited Caleb, the governor of Plateau State, might want to commensurate with him over the lost. They also reiterated the same thing. So I'm beginning to see that Nigerians have seen the need for state police, but it's not a one-man thing. It is something that involves me and you. It is something that the president is there. He's also a stakeholder, the National Assembly, the state governor, critical stakeholder, as well as the public. They must be carried along. We must weigh the pros and cons to see if there's the desirability to establish state police.
But at the moment, from your point of view as a lawyer, is there a desirability for the creation of state police?
There's no. If you ask my opinion, I would say there is the need to strengthen the national police force. Nigerian police force, there's a need. Strengthen the Nigerian police force. Because there are so many things that will come out of it. Let me give you one practical example.
Please do.
State governors decided that this insecurity has become unbearable to us. So we're going to establish alternative security apparatus. Let me give you Zamfara as an example. The community protection guards. Few days back, Senator Mafara said that one of his political friends was killed by that same outfit, that same security outfit that is in Zamfara. If we go to Motokum in the southwest, they will still tell you there are issues. If you come back to community volunteer guards in Benue State, you still say there are issues. So you are going to have issues. One, to be able to draw the distinction between the Nigerian police force and the state police is going to be a very difficult thing. You're going to have some rivalries. And then states that are politically viable and politically strong will take advantage of the state police. So there's going to be some of these issues. The Nigerian police force will say that at some point in time they will tell you, you also have jurisdictional issues. You also have subject matter issues. Because the Nigerian police force will tell you that this is not our jurisdiction, this is not our territory. It is supposed to be manned by the state police. And if the state police do not carry out that assignment because of the rivalry, the assignment wouldn't be done. And at what point in time, at what point will the state police come in? At what point will the Nigerian police force come in? There will be that rivalry. And there will be scheming, there will be abuses. You will see, you witness so much arbitrariness in whatever is happening. So in my own opinion, this is my personal opinion, I would have advised, I would advocate that the best thing to do is to improve the Nigerian police force. The Nigerian police force of the 21st century. 1, increase the personnel. 2, train them, intelligence gathering. 3, improve the infrastructure. So many things to be done. That's the 21st century police of. It is done in other places, not multiple or proliferation of police commands or security outfits, state police, local government police, or whatever that we have. But you should be able to strengthen the police that we already have. There's nothing that is wrong. Nothing is wrong for you to say that we can employ police at every quarter of the year. Okay, let's take, for instance, this year we've decided that we're going to employ 1 million. And next year we employ 1 million. By the time you bring in the number, you won't have issues. You don't have issues. Rather than, because politicians will take advantage of the state police and do whatever they want to do. For example, if you're going from here to Lafia, at the moment you get within the territory of Lafia, you're subject to the state police in Lafia. If you move from Lafia, that is you're in Nasarawa State. If you move beyond Nasarawa, you're already in Plateau. You now change, jurisdiction has changed. You are now under the subject, you're subject to the operations and command of the police in Plateau. If you move beyond that, you, as if you're heading to Bauchi or Gombe. That is, so within one trip or one journey, you must have entered into the territory of more than 5 or 6 state police commands. So you're subject to different, there wouldn't even be harmony. There would be harmony.
Anyway, as we go along, we look at even the jurisdictional issues and see how we suggest a template. That is why we are here to also be part of the debate, which is ongoing. Engineer Koga, you have listened to Barrister Andy. He said, for him, there is no desirability for the creation of state police. Rather, the Nigeria police force that is currently serving Nigerians should be strengthened. Share your thoughts with us. Do you differ in this, in his opinion, or do you subscribe to it?
Before I air my own opinion, I want to say that when the committee to set up the community police or the state police is in force, and they might have gone around other countries, other nations, they should do a wide consultation. Those countries that are operating state police structure, how well are they doing? Are they benefiting from it? Is it a good exercise? If not, why not? What are the pros and the cons in those countries? As Barrister Andy has said, it's not something that we just wake up one day and say, let's establish state police. It's a sensitive issue. Anything involving military or law enforcement agents operation is a very sensitive issue. So they must consult very wide, and they should not be in a hurry. And they okay, because the president has said there must be state police, so let's implement it tomorrow. It's not a one-man show. You must consult far and wide. And I am also of the opinion that Barrister has said, we should rather strengthen what we have than creating new structures that we have. I'm assuring you that some state governors will use this state police to run after their enemies, real enemies or latent or virtual enemies. I'm assuring you. And by the time you wait for 8 years for another person to come and correct such ills, and some of those ills may not be corrected because the people that have been victimized might have died. You cannot wake them up. We're not praying for that. But I'm assuring you that he has just cited an example of how somebody was gone down in one state by this whatever they call security operatives. So let's strengthen it. If we are going to make a law that every quarter or each year we recruit every 6 months we recruit 1 million policemen or 300. Let's have a target, because the major problem facing the whole world now is the issue of insecurity. If you have all the money, you have all the food, you have all the buildings, and they are not secured, of what use is that? So let's strengthen what we have than the multiplicity of this one. This is my own personal opinion anyway. That let's reinforce, let us increase, let us develop, let us increase, let us improve on what we have.
Okay, but I stand it. If we are to improve on the Nigeria police force, but again, the debates for creation of state police are never ending. Nigerians have been agitating for it for a long time now, even though the fears are there. We will isolate some of the concerns and also speak to them. But with the ongoing constitution of committees, both in the House of Representatives and in the Senate, for the amendment of the Constitution, do you see this scaling through? And what should be part of the amendment that will give priority to giving a direction on what the creation of the state police structures should look like? Should we be going for it?
Yes. You see the debate about state police has been on. And I think with the meeting held on Thursday, which was yesterday, between the president and the 36 governors, there happens to be a reasonable progress in terms of the call for state policing. Because this is the first time that the government has taken a decisive measure or step towards establishment of state police. And I'm happy that the governors said they're going to also partner with the National Assembly, and they're part of this. So since it is a deliberate and conscious effort, I'm sure that even the bureaucratic bottlenecks or the clogs that would have stood in their way will give way, because there's a meeting of minds as in terms of this. But like they all said, they're also not unmindful of the complexities and peculiarities of Nigerian society. And that's why they say it's a discussion that must go on. You need, because you need the National Assembly to amend the provisions. Because the Police Act in Section 4, Police Act, which is in Section 4, is Cap P19, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, spells out the duties of the police in Section 4. And so you do not only need to amend the Constitution, you also need to amend other enabling laws to come in tandem with, to accommodate state police. So you need amendment in terms of the Constitution. You need amendment in terms of other enabling laws apart from the Police Act. You also need to also make provisions for, do we really have enough money that will accommodate this? You also have to look at areas of abuse. You also look at areas of jurisdictional issues. You also need to look at subject matter issues. These are issues that you have to incorporate them into the laws that you're going to amend. You must take care of the jurisdiction between the national police, Nigerian police force, and the state police. You also have to, what subject matter will be vested in the state police and will be vested in the Nigerian police force. You also need at the territory. What and what will they be doing? At what point in time are they supposed to collaborate? At what point in time is it supposed to be this, is supposed to be that? So these are issues that will need to be incorporated in the enabling laws to accommodate state police. So we need to look at this amendment. Every amendment, every provision of the Constitution, both institutional and legal framework has to be amended in such a way as to incorporate state police so that we won't have frictions when we start.
Okay, so for you, it goes beyond even the constitutional amendment. There are other laws that needs to be factored into before even talking about creation of state police.
Yes.
All right.
Because apart from the state, you see, you have other agencies. You have the DSS. You have the civil defense. You have so many of, even within those, you still have interagency rivalry. So these are issues that you have to discuss. Even other agencies are also critical stakeholders in state police because they need to also bring in their inputs. When we create state police, are you prepared to accommodate them? Are you prepared to share intelligence? Are you prepared to work with them? Are you prepared to collaborate with them? So you need them. You also need them on board. You can't create it in isolation. So it's a discussion that is a wholesome discussion that everybody must be part of it.
Okay. Dear listener, in case you are just tuning in, you've been listening to Perspectives on iGate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makurdi, the voice of the people. And in our philosophy of being the voice of the people, this morning we are beaming the spotlight on the debates for the creation of state police. Yesterday, President Bola Tinubu meeting with the state governors, it was top of priority at that meeting. This is why we are focusing fresh attention on the desirability or otherwise of the creation of state police for all Nigerians and Benue people to also make their voices heard on the situation. Leading us in the discussion here in the studio is a lawyer and a public affairs commentator based here in Makurdi, Barrister Polycarp, and he's here with us. And we also have Deputy Corps Commander, Nigeria Legion Corps of Commissioner, Benue State Command, Engineer Alex Akorgia, who is also sharing his thoughts with us on the program. You too can be a part of it. Earlier on, we called out the numbers through which you can contribute through text message or calls. The one for text messages and WhatsApp chats is already activated. In case you want to contribute, you can utilize the line 09126999404. The line is 09126999404. That line is already available for your messages and WhatsApp messages if you want to contribute on the program. But remember to include your full name if you are sending a message. And at 10 o'clock, which is about minutes away, we'll open the line for you to phone in and also make your voice heard on the debate to the desirability or otherwise for the creation of state police. Let's remind you, the program is streaming live on all our social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube. Kindly search out iGate Radio on Facebook and follow the live stream conversation to be a part of what we are discussing. Barrister Andy, I am back, Engineer Kogia. I am with you now. Let's look at the advantages. In everything it is said, there are advantages and disadvantages. Given the current insecurity plaguing the country, including Benue, are there some advantages we can point to if the state police is eventually created before we talk about the disadvantages?
Thank you very much. The advantages I see there is that if there is going to be state police in Benue State, for example, and this one too, I'm airing my own personal opinion. The members of that police force are indigenous of the state. They know in and out of their local government, their location, because I believe such personnel will be likely be posted to their own local government of indigene, of origin. They know the terrain, they know the area. So if there are even foreign or external aggressors and they want to run and escape, they know the terrain and they can pursue them or whatever, and there is no way they can escape. And that's an advantage. You know the terrain, you know the place and so on. And again, even in terms of remuneration, that is in terms of salaries and wages, it is possible that the wages are not going to be the same with state police. Maybe each state will agree that please call the people, tell them that this is what we have, accept what you have, so there will be peace in our state. Value peace more than the money. Of course, they will be paid something reasonably to keep soul and body together. And that is also an advantage which I see, that you may not be comparing yourself with maybe Lagos State, Enugu State, Kaduna State, and so on, but make do with what you have so that there will be peace within this our area. Another advantage again is that young people, men and women, will be taken off the street. They will get employment. No matter how many they are, maybe they are 50, they may be 100, whatever it is. And it should also be targeted that each family should be, if they have personnel, people who are willing to join the state police, so that at least each family will have somebody that will work and put food on the table for their people to eat and so on. And there may be some other advantages, but these are some of the few advantages I see if there is going to be state implementation of the state police.
Okay, Barrister Paul, Polycarp, and give us your thoughts on whether there are the advantages by the time eventually we have the state police created, before we come back to the disadvantage part of it.
Yes, like I said, state police has both advantages and disadvantages. And I will adopt the advantages that have been mentioned by engineer. I will add that state police, one, will bring policing very close to the people, to our doorsteps. It will bring policing very close to our doorsteps because we are there. And so it will not be difficult again for you to be able to access police. The moment there's any form of crisis or law and disorder, the police are there. The report is very easily. You can access the quickest outpost of state policing and report your grievances. Secondly, intelligence gathering. It will be very easy for you to get intelligence or get any information relating to commission of crime, because it is within the environment. And so you have an outpost of state police probably manning a population of about 50 or 100. It will be easier for you to have intelligence. Information will flow freely. And then thirdly, there will be quick response, because you don't need to go to local government headquarters, or you don't need to travel distances to make reports for people to respond. There will be quick response in terms of state policing. And then employment. Our people will also be employed. And if state policing is going to take care of unemployment, I'm sure it is going to reduce to the barest minimum crime within these communities. And then state policing, again, we create confidence in the people. The people will feel that, yes, because I'm very sure they will be able to determine who becomes a member of the state police. And they can raise objections where anybody is coming in as a personnel of state police that has some questionable terms in terms of personality or credentials. They will be able to question it very quickly and disapprove of such a nomination or selection or employment. It will be easier for us. So it's going to bring, by and large, it's going to bring police very close to the doorsteps of our community. And it will be easy for intelligence gathering, employment, security, quick response, and all that. So there are so many advantages as much as there are disadvantages.
All right. Mr. Akogia,
Yes.
Let's come back to the disadvantages now. What are the fears? Should we have state police at the disadvantages?
The disadvantages are many. I may just try to attempt to enumerate one or two or three. Number one, there will be that revengeful spirit in some people who have been saying that I have a grudge, I have a grudge against this family, this individual, and now I'm in the state police. I have the instruments, and you see people maybe taking that, revenging, even leading to maybe shooting at will, maybe what they call accidental discharge. I don't know what that means, but you may have those type of things being rampant. And again, people maybe molesting people. You will use that instrument you have. What I mean by instrument is that you have a gun, you have a baton, whatever it is, or you have a shotgun, whatever it is. You use it. They will use it to molest their foes or their apparent enemies, just creating fears in the heart of your enemies unnecessarily. So, and maybe my colleague, the Melanet colleague, will have some other things to say. But presently, these are the things that I can see that the disadvantages in having those that police, state police, being set up.
But are you not aware that the same creation may also spell out conditions to regulate the conduct of the personnel if eventually they are recruited?
And don't we have the Nigerian constitutions? Are we following it? Don't we have these regulations? Don't we have this one? Even the traffic that is there, the red light you see in Nigeria, do we obey it? The laws may be there, but the problem is how to obey it. You and me, you are witness. We are Nigerians. I'm telling you, look at the zebra crossing. You see, they draw something on the road. Somebody will look left, look right, and then just cross it. But it says stop. So it's not even the making of the law or the regulation that matters, but they're keeping it.
Anyway, by Sunday, we have touched on your area too, the extent to which people obey the law. But let's talk about the advantages. I mean, the disadvantages. Also, lend your voice to it. Then we'll go further.
The disadvantages are enormous. One is going to overburden the economy, the budgetary allocations. The government will now have to begin to make provisions for state police. And so the state governors that go to draw from the federation account will have to make provisions. So much money will be appropriated by the State House of Assembly in terms of state police. And then secondly, you must have to earn the trust of the people. And security first is trust. One of the tripods, or what the cardinal points of security is trust. Let the Nigerian populace, let the community trust in the system. And when they trust in the system, I think their allegiance will be better. And so one, you will need to establish trust. Can the community trust state policing? That is fundamental. And then secondly, there are going to be issues of abuse and arbitrariness. Because we are going to draw from the communities. State police, the personnel are going to come from from our communities. And so they also have their own idiosyncrasies or their peculiarities. And so we're drawing from them. They're part of the community and they're going to be part of the system. So there's going to be elements of abuse. One, they will take advantage of certain people to settle their scores because they're members to state police. They will do that. And then there's going to be arbitrary use of power because they will use this power, they overuse it. I want you to look at the prototypes of state policing. You have all this established in other places. You have the volunteer, the vigilante, you have the community volunteer guards, you have several other prototypes of the security outfits established in our communities. And every day, day in, day out, you hear complaints of their excesses. So they're going to replicate some of these things in what they're doing. And then fine, again, you have politicians who are very gullible. They are very overzealous politicians and very overzealous set of human beings within the community. They are going to take advantage of this system. And they will use this personnel to torment people. They are going to do it. Because many of these personnel will come into this state policing virtual employment through people. People will send in their names and get them recruited into, and their allegiance will go to those people. So they will procure your services to deal with somebody. So there are going to be elements of abuses, there are going to be elements of arbitrariness, and there are going to be so many things. And then apart from that, jurisdictional issues. Where are you going to draw the line between state policing and the Nigerian police force? Will they go into the hinterland? At what point, at what subject matter, are they going to be in charge of prevention? Are they going to be in charge of prosecution? Are they going to be in charge of punishment? Are they going to be in charge of what? So you should be able to also draw the line between that jurisdiction, that coverage, area of coverage, as well as the subject matter. And so you're going to also have issues. You are going to have elements of clashes between them and other agencies. You're also going to have this. And then fundamentally, like I said, you're going to increase the budget allocation in terms of these people.
But when you mentioned about jurisdiction, as you have again,
yes,
often and often.
Yes.
Don't you think, earlier on you pointed out that if the creation is to be done, it will go through a process of even the amending the constitution and the Police Act and other enabling laws. Don't you think when these laws are, amended, they will spell out exactly the jurisdiction which both the national police and the state police, so to say,
even as it stands now, the laws are there that have spelled out clearly the jurisdiction of these security agencies. Still, they have clashes, they still have friction. You're going to create it, but there are going to be elements of some form of overlap. There must surely be some form of overlapping into other areas. You're going to see them. Because even as it stands now, the lines are there. Okay, for instance, the vigilante group which is established, or the community volunteer guard, which was established by the outgoing government on the 4th of August 2022, already spelled out that they said, please, when you arrest, don't keep in your office. As soon as you arrest, hand over to the police. They don't do it. They arrest, they keep it there. They investigate, they conclude. They do everything that they want to do before. In fact, the only time they hand over to the police is when there's no headway. Sometimes they arrest, they investigate, they finish prosecution and sentence, which is completely outside the law enabling them or whatever framework that established them. That's what they do. The vigilante will arrest somebody, and they also have their punishment guidelines. Sometimes they give you 24 strokes or 50 strokes in the marketplace and ask you to go and bring 1 goat or 2 goat or 50 tubers of yam. You see this abuse. They have been doing it, and it's not going to be different with state police. There's already a law which has spelled out the confines of their power, but they go beyond that. You recall that in Nigeria here, there are instances where the DSS have gone to arrest somebody. EFCC will come there and say, no, it is not your jurisdiction. We ought to have arrested this man. You have seen situations whereby Nigerian Correctional Service, the court will remand somebody in Nigerian Correctional Service. EFCC will go and say, no, we're supposed to be the person to keep that person. DSS will say, we're the person we're supposed to. You see, so you are going to see these things. Even within the civilized security agencies, you still have these issues of clashes, infractions, and abuses. So it is bound to come. Because this is local. State police is going to be local. It's local. So there's no way you will not find some of these things. And that's the fear. That's the fear. Politics determines everything in Nigeria. And I tell you, politicians are going to use this. Because they're the ones clamoring for this. The only time you have the hue and cry, the renewed hue and cry of state police is where so many... You see, why is this coming on? Because of the attacks within the Federal Capital Territory. Because of what happened in Plateau State. Because of the kidnappings within the Federal Capital Territory, within the kidnappings in Southwest, the kidnappings in Southeast. Anytime there are renewed attacks, there are news clamor for state police. So the question we ask is it in good faith? Is this call really in good faith? If it is indeed in good faith, then we must put in place safeguards so that we don't go into the same problem that we're encountering as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy.
Maybe you want to just mention some of the safeguards that should be given attention?
Very good. One of the safeguards is one. When we want to establish state police, I said it must be a wholesome thing. Let everybody involved so that the people will not complain. Let everybody involved, apart from the president, the National Assembly, the governors. Include both the religious organizations, the traditional institutions, include labor, include retired officers of Nigerian police, the civil defense, military, and all that. Involve the youth, involve students, involve community leaders, and everybody. Let them bring in their inputs. Do we really desire this? So that by the time they make their inputs and the inputs are actually put into place, we will not have issues. Secondly, go back and revisit those commissions that were instituted and constituted for purposes of state police. Look at their reports, study them, and see if those recommendations are something that the recommendations are very viable and the ones that you can use. Then incorporate them into your resolution. And then you take a fair decision that will be acceptable by every Nigerian. But if you do it hastily, you just sit in Abuja, invite governors, the district governor, go there and take a hasty decision. It will not work, my brother.
Anyway, as at yesterday, it was only an issue coming up top at discussion between the president and the media, between him and the governors.
And you recall what the president said? He said, go back and strengthen forest rangers.
Yes.
That's one of those things.
We are definitely going to come to that. And because for us here in Benue, already we have the Benue State Community Volunteer Guards. That is a creation of a law.
And then what are you? What are you going to do with these ones that you've created already? You have a Motekun. You have in Benue State. You have community volunteer guards. You have what do you call it? You have this one in Zamfara, community protection guards.
Yes.
You have the one in the south. I think it's Igube. You have so many of them. What are you going to do there? Are you going to collapse them into community policing, or are you going to let them loose? By the time you let them loose, you will see problem.
As we go along, we'll interrogate that. Because I remember, for instance, here in Benue, the community volunteer guards, when they were being inaugurated, the then administration had even mentioned that it was in public domain that should eventually the creation of state police becomes a reality, they may be given the first right of refusal to join. But maybe as we go along, we interrogate that. Akoya,
yes,
you have listened to your colleague, Andy Kinley. Is there something you share differently with regards to his opinion that you want to lend your voice to before we open the line very shortly?
I completely agree with him on the area of involving critical stakeholders in the creation of state police. He mentioned the area of youth, religious bodies, traditional institutions, and so on. Particularly the youth. They must be carried along. The youth, the students, of course, they are the youths, the unemployed, the women, the men, the market women. Everybody must be carried. It's not a one-man show. And I'm still emphasizing, if we are going to create state police in this country, each state having a state police, we must endeavor, we must carry the youths along. I emphasize we must carry the youths along.
Okay. Dear listener, it's about time now for us to open the telephone line for you to also be a part of what we are discussing. Remember, we are discussing the debates and concerns about creation of state police. If you have an opinion to lend your voice to the situation, the debate, please call us on 0814-33-59292. The line is 0814-33-59292. Once you connect with us, go ahead, tell us your name and where you're calling from. Then make your submission, keep it very brief, and be civil, no uncomplimentary language. Tell your emotions on the situation as well. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, my friend in the studio there.
Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Achimejua Godwin from Oblivu Boju.
Achimejua, how are you doing?
I am doing good.
All right. Thank you for joining us on Perspective.
I am happy with the discussion this morning.
Thank you.
What I want the federal government to do is not state police. They should create Peace Corps of Nigeria, which has been in progress for many years. Because this state police, some governors will use this avenue to hijack some items in their own states, which is not supposed to be like that. But this Peace Corps of Nigeria, many millions of youth have applied for it for ages. But they are not, federal government is not talking about that one. These people, Peace Corps of Nigeria, I think they are there to make peace. When they are being signed, they will make peace in hospitals, in schools, even in a prone where there are criminalities. They will go there and control the peace, because we are seeing them in the last 2 years when they gave them the upper hand in the government sector here in Benue State. They did well. If you go to some schools, they are even securing the school very tightly. Take for example in Ogoli Boju, there was a boy who was arrested with knife because he claimed to be a member of one occultism or the other, but he was arrested and perpetrated. Is the effort of the Peace Corps of Nigeria at that time. But the federal government did not give them the upper hand, so they cannot be able to do. So I want them to look behind and talk about Peace Corps of Nigeria, but not state police. Thank you. God bless you.
Okay, Achimejua, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, for today, we are focusing on the debate concerning creation of state police. So
That is why I'm debating on my own too. That I don't want state police.
okay,
Yes,
thank you.
I don't want it.
Thank you, Achieve Joel, for your contribution. If you call us, please be categorical on the issue we are focusing on, which is the state police, its desirability or otherwise. Anyway, hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Ezra Lupe Daniel calling from Modern Market.
Welcome, Ezra Lupe.
Yes.
Modern Market in Makudi, I suppose.
Yes, Modern Market in Makudi.
Okay, please go ahead, Ezra.
I think my contribution is that Nigerians lack no laws, no security agency. We have more than 20-something security law enforcement agencies in this country. And even the state police that they are talking about, that they're not going to be Nigerians. They are not going to come from America or from heaven. All we need is to just restructure the society. Let the people know, these people who have signed a social contract with us, let them know their work. The problem is that many of these government officials don't know what they are supposed to do. And that is why they keep apportioning blames for one another. So we don't lack any laws in this country. Even if you bring the state police, they will still be from Nigeria. So all we need is to change our attitude and recruit more police officers. Strengthen neighborhood watch. Let us have that sense of belief. Citizens have left all their responsibilities in the hands of government officials. If citizens are doing a little to complement the effort of the conventional security agency, we would have not found this. The Peace Corps they are talking about have been in this country for how many years? Where is the peace we are looking at? So our problem is not to enact laws or bring in new security agencies. Let's just strengthen the ones that are already on ground, just as our guests in the studio have spoken about. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ezra, for your contribution.
Yes.
Thank you. Ezra is of the opinion that existing security agencies should be strengthened rather than creating new ones. That's his opinion. We appreciate you, Ezra. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I am on that you gave from Ojaka Madoka.
Thank you for joining us. Okay. Hi, so Jack Bama.
Ojaka is doing fine today.
Oh, great.
My regards to the guys in the house.
Thank you.
They have done.
Thank
the
you.
greatest justice to what you have brought to us this morning from Agate Radio.
Thank you very much.
My opinion is this. Creating the state police now that is advocated by the governor is not going to be a health matter.
Under Chigebre, before you continue, can you turn down the volume of your radio or move away from it?
Okay, sir.
We can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Like I was saying,
Yes.
the state police that is advocated by the state governors now is not going to be a helping matter for us in the society. The governors themselves, they have even shown it to us that, like our head I say, a fight if foul has shown itself to the kite. That is why the kite come and pick it quickly. When they go about to campaigning, they pick dogs and they command these dogs to molest people. If they have the police station now, the police state police now, they do the same thing to them. So I am not of the opinion that we have to create or recruit a state police now. What we want now is that the federal government to employ more into the police force. Let's have one police force in the country so that when they are many, like our youth are roaming about in the street this time, let them call and invite our youth to recruit them to the Nigerian police. Let it be one, so that when they are enough recruited, they distribute them to the state and to the local government to control the society in our country for us. Not the state police that is advocated. We don't accept it now this time, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ondachi Gebre, for your contribution. We appreciate you. Ondachi Gebre say he is not in support of creation of state police, and he should rather strengthen the same opinion earlier. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Yes, Emeka Nyog from North Bank, Makurdi, Benue State.
Welcome, Mr. Emeka Nyogo.
Yes, it is a cheering news that state governors and the federal government are thinking about state police. My question is, who will fund them? because some states are owing salaries. And now that you bring a state police, how do they pay them salaries? Will it be the same thing? Because when you don't pay these people salaries, at the end of the day, they will go back to their normal things that they used to do. So I am of the opinion, if the states will be buoyant enough to pay salaries to state police, I think it is a good thing. But with what is happening in the government today, salaries are being owned in some states. I think it is not good to go and do something that tomorrow we will have another problem in some states. Maybe governors will use them during campaigns and other things. I am looking at it that if the government, the federal government wants to have a standard police to aid the states, they should recruit policemen from their states. And maybe you say that about 3,000. Maybe every three months you recruit 3,000 from each state. It will help to do the needful. And the government will do something. The federal government will pay the salaries. Because that's why nobody will tell you, say, my allocation is too small, I cannot pay. At the end of the day, if you don't pay policemen, how do you get the money to do things? So I am of the opinion that if government wants to help, instead of going to create something that will bring us more problem, it is better government at the federal level should employ or recruit people by themselves and make sure that these people are being catered for. At least every year, you will recruit at least 3,000 from each state. I think that one will reduce the problem of insecurities. And you push these police people to their state of origins. Because when you push them to their state of origins, they know the Appian roads, they know all those roads that criminals always penetrate. You make sure that all these people, you do the needful. They will arrest those boys, they will arrest those people who are creating problems within their areas. I think with this, people will be sleeping with their two eyes closed. But when you say state, I am still saying that the state governors will come back to tell you that subventions are not enough for them to pay salaries. Like what happened in some states last regime. They could not pay salaries. Is it what you are going to do to state police? No. I believe that if government wants to do the needful, they should employ right from the federal at least 3,000 every year. You will see that we will have enough police people. Thank you very much. God bless iGate Radio and our listeners.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Emeka Nyogo, for your contribution. We appreciate you. The funding, government and governors in particular should look at that before considering. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, I'm Frederick Beku, calling from Makodi, the Jakumewe.
Okay, thank you, Frederick, for joining us.
My opinion is that the federal government should strengthen the police we have. If you go to some villages, you look at the police station, you look one small house like that, you see only 2 police officers there. You know, the government are not taking good care of these people. You look at their arms they are having compared to what these people are having in the bush. You cannot compare them. What are they going to give the state police now? What are they going to have that will compare to what those people in bush are having? Apart from that, if they could not pay their salary 1 or 2 months, those people will go back to the bush because you have trained them. They know everything. And if they go, calling them back, it will be more difficult than what we are having now. So the government have at least let government train more people. Let them equip them. Then we know what. Then we can move forward. But saying local police, state police, and all those things will not help. Look at what people are suffering now. Most people have not been paid. They have not been paid. They was not paid by the past government. So if you train these people, have just leave them like that. So what are we going to experience next how many years? And let government look for another way to employ youth, so that we will not be jobless, moving around like that. So it will help us better. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Frederick, for your contribution. Thank you.
Sir.
All right. Okay, by Andy, let's look at the issue further before we engage with more people. At that meeting yesterday between the president and the governors, of course, he approved the establishment of a committee comprising the state governors and representatives of the federal government to, among other things, explore the modalities for establishing state police. With a committee in place now, earlier on you talked about consultation. Arising from what Emeka Anyogo mentioned, what should be the funding structure for the state police should it be created now that the president is being decisive with the state governors, with the committee being approved for it?
Yeah, you see, in the first place, are we even, one of the things that worried me is the constitution of that particular committee, because it's a committee that one would have expected him to constitute mainly technocrats, people who are professionals in those areas, and not constitute very busy people who themselves are singing discordant songs. Because as it is not all the 36 governors that are interested in state police, but they're doing it because the government has called them. So first and foremost, the constitution of the committee is not even appropriate. That's my own opinion. Secondly, I don't know how the president intends to fund this if state police is eventually established. I don't know how he wants to fund them. But I think they're also the funding is also come from oil, because that has been our mainstay. So that is going to also overburden our source of revenue. It's going to overburden our source of revenue, because it is even very difficult for government to contend with issues that are already in existence. We are already having issues. And then they're creating more issues, putting pressure on our mainstay. So it's going to, revenue is simply going to come from oil. And maybe by way of an alternative, the president will decide to say that, fine, I'm going to, every month from the state federation allocation, we're going to take a particular percentage from state governors to fund it. Or the president will say governors should go and fund it. And so if that becomes the template, whichever the template that is chosen by the federal government is going to overburden the economy. Is either going to be maybe a particular percentage from local government as well as the state governors, you understand? Because it's going to come. They must be able to scratch from somewhere to fund state policing. And by the time you do that, I am not sure that we are it's really going to be business unusual.
Okay.
It's going to be business as usual.
Hello.
Hello,
Good morning. Thank you for holding on the line. Welcome to the program.
good morning. I am Corner to do Abraham. Thanks for the guest in the studio.
Thank you. Corner to do it. Where are you calling from, please?
Okay, I'm calling from Marseille, way east.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead now to do it.
I think the discussion today is taking a different dimension. The call for state police arise from the agitation of people that the federal government have not been able to secure their communities. Because many a times we have distress calls where we have people that come and give us letters that they are coming to attack our community. We keep calling on the federal government, and the federal government will do virtually nothing about it. And this thing will eventually pass. And the state governors will be complaining and saying that it's because they don't have the security architecture in their hands to tackle the insecurity. These were the reasons why we, the ordinary citizens, ordinary people, decided that, okay, if this is the case, then let there be police, community, whatever you call it, state police, so that they can secure our communities. So the dimension you people are discussing today is a bit going away from the core issues.
Okay, so what is your dimension? This is an engagement. It's a discussion that can come from different angles. So just give us your own dimension, Corner.
So my dimension is that the core for state policing is the core of the people, the masses. It's not from the political class as is being insinuated. It is with the masses that they were calling for state police
so that nobody will go there and begin to tell us because of tribal sentiments, all of that. Where we give us deaf ear when we get distress calls and people come in and kill us again. Let the government be responsible. If they can't perform, we have the laws in our hands to impeach them, to take them away from the government. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Corner, for your contribution. Corner's dimension is state police is coming from the masses. It's an agitation from the masses. So we should respect it. Hello. Good morning.
My name is Moses.
Your name?
Calling from North Bank, Macaulay.
Your name is who?
Moses here.
Moses Tio. Thank you for joining us. North Bank in Makudi, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. Moses, go ahead.
My opinion, I am in support of state police. Hello?
We are with you, Moses.
Yes, I'm in support of state police, and this is how I would like it to be done. Hence, the federal government have seen that if federal police or the centralized police cannot handle this alone, this is how I want it to be done. And if they can take my opinion, it will work for all of us in Nigeria. Let everybody, be it Air Force, Army, Navy, police, or what have you, let them go back to their state for just 1 month and secure the state for 1 month to see that all insecurity in Nigeria will be over. So if you are a Benue individual, you are in the police, army, or what have you, come back for 1 month, insecurity will be over in Nigeria. So to me, that is part of state policing. So they should come, and once that is over, they can go back to their federal police. That will work for us. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Moses Tio, for your suggestion. We hope the authorities are listening and they should work on it. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Let's take a few messages before we come back to our guest here in the studio. This one says, good morning to you and the guest. State police force around the world are responsible for the maintenance of law and order in the society. Their primary objective is to protect lives and property. The size and structure of police force of any nation is determined by its security situation. Most large countries like China, India, United States of America, whose population are very large, operate multiple police forces to meet their security needs. Unlike Nigeria, whose population is about 200 million, occupying a very vast territory, yet operates a single central police known as the Nigeria Police Force. Presently, the country is besieged with major security challenges. Boko Haram, cattle rustlers, and herdsmen ravage in the north, while kidnappers, armed robbers, and Niger Delta militants are foisting untold hardship on the people of southern Nigeria unabated. The efforts of the Central Police to combat these menaces have not yielded any appreciable result. It is against this background that stakeholders, opinion group, members of the civil society, and legislature at both federal and state level have continued to call for the creation of the state police as the only way out of this security quagmire foisted on the country by the operation of a single and centrally controlled police force. However, the idea of creation of state police has received opposition from some quarters. These groups cited fear of abuse of state police by state authorities as their major concern. In policing a large and complex country like Nigeria with manifold security challenges, I think we need state police now. From Cole Ephraim, Welfare Quarters in Makudi. Thank you, Cole, for your thoughts. Another one here, see in our WhatsApp box says, creating state police will create more problems for us in Nigeria. State governors will use them as footstools. They will be ineffective. We just need to strengthen the Nigerian police force at the top, and most importantly, look out for their welfare. This will enhance their commitment to policing the communities. Agishi Lubem from Welfare Quarters in Makudi. Oh, still Welfare Quarters. Thank you, Agishi. Association of our text messages from Welfare Quarters. We appreciate you. Another one here says, this is from our regular SMS. Good morning, all. I am Solomon Ahungu from Bar Ward in Makudi local government. The creation of state police is an another way of ending insecurity in Nigeria. We have different types of security, but all belong to the federal government. Therefore, the creation of state police is to enable security to act fast whenever case may be. Thank you. Okay, Solomon, thank you very much for your thoughts too. Another one here says, good morning, Agate FM. Community policing is a well development because it's a welcome development. I think that's what it means. They will be close to their people, and this will help checkmate insecurity to add those type and reduce unemployment. Despite community police, we have challenges from other security outfits, which include recent police protests of police brutality. So I am of the opinion that other outfits like Volunteer Guards and Motekun and others be converted to one name, State Community Police. Thank you. Benki Collins from Logo 1 in Makudi. Okay, Benki Collins, thank you for your message too. Another one here says, good morning, Agate FM. Nigerians should remove the fear of unknown and support the creation of the state police. Simon Kyobo from Naka. Thank you, Simon, for your message. Still from our WhatsApp messages, we have another one just coming in. We'll take it and then we'll come back. This one says, in every advanced democracy, whether federal system, parliamentary system, or authoritarian system of democracy, there are key elements of security apparatuses that sustains the sovereignty. The components are commoners, and these are 1. Armed forces, 2. Federal police, which include the DSS or FBI, the state police known as the sheriff, and 4. Homeland Security, which is also known as the locals. The reason behind this is to ensure maximum security for lives and properties of citizens, to decentralize excessive power of the executive to whom federal governments are only answerable to ensure that resources are guarded because all states control their own mineral and natural resources. We are wondering why armed bandits and terrorists are combing our homelands, particularly why these bandits knows where mineral resources are located in each state. Other countries without such insecurity controls their resources with states and locals. And local sheriff, we are overdue for not only state police, but also due for resource control as well as absolute tax control. If you are afraid of politicians using state police, the question is, are they not even using the federal police? Why do we even have non-conventional securities like the vigilantes instead of the state police? We are behind in every democratic dividends. I'm Engineer Dan Atai from Kwarafa Quarters in Makudi. Thanks, Nat, and I get radio. And when are you invited? Okay, inviting me to your studio on topical issues. Oh, sure. These days, thank you very much, Dan, for your contribution. One of these days, when we have an issue that is suitable in your area, we'll be sure to invite you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, my name is Bileka Anthony. I'm calling from Makodi.
Which part of Makodi, Bileka Anthony?
High level.
Okay, thank you, Bileka Anthony, for joining us.
Yes. Yeah, I guess in this, the issue of state policy is a very welcome development because for instance, we have the federal judiciary and we have state judiciary, but they all know their boundaries and they don't mix up the things when the constitution is being amended. In the issue of budgetary allocation, the federal government and the state will know how to reduce the burden of the federal police and to mitigate the issue of state policing. It will be taken care of in the budget. Then you have the issue of exclusive list and concurrent list. As it is now, it is only state policing that we take care of banditry and insecurity and kidnapping. Because you have one man at Abuja controlling everything in the federation. If you take police, one man, IG will sit there and give order. If he doesn't give order, nothing move. But the governor knows the security situation in his state, and he will take care of it with the state policing. As it is now, even we have livestock guards, volunteer guards, they cannot purchase, the state governor cannot purchase certain arms because he doesn't have a force that is recognized at the national, it did not be legislated at the National Assembly. So it's a welcome development.
Okay, thank you very much, Bileka Anthony, for your contribution.
All right.
I appreciate you. All right. So you have listened to Bileka, but again, one of the messages we read by Sahani, the last one I read from Danatai was asking us that if there are fears that state governors could hijack state police to manipulate them to their own advantage, are they not doing the same with the federal police? How do you react to this?
Yes, they are, but to a minimal level, to a minimal degree, in the sense that we have seen the antecedents of the state governors, and it's very glaring. You can agree with me that it will be more common, it will be faster, it will be obvious with state governors than it is at the federal level, because of the flow of the chain of command. If the IG directs the DIG in charge of any of the departments, and the DIG in charge of that department directs it to any of the zonal commands, before it gets down to the commissioner of police or it gets down to the area commander, I'm sure that there may have been some form of changes along the line. But like the last caller said, if the command is coming from the state governor, because the state governor is the appointer or the one who leads the state police within the state, he will have the exclusive authority and control over the appointee. You have. But at the level of the Nigerian Police Force, you have the Nigerian Police Commission, you have the Nigerian Police Council, and you have several other chain of command, both executive and management and whatever within the Nigerian Police Force. So the level of arbitrariness and overzealousness is mitigated. But at the level of state police, the governor is going to be the generalissimo. Whether he's going to constitute a council, the council is still. Incidences of abuse and arbitrariness will be more with state police.
Okay. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Brother Nathaniel.
Thank you for joining us on the program.
Yes, I'm Peter Pila. I'm calling you from IBB Square.
Welcome, Peter.
Here in Makodi, Benue State.
All right.
I want to sincerely appreciate your guest. You see, the issue of security, when they're talking about security, whereas we have conventional security, and then we also have our own security, like the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Navy. We have the Nigerian Legion. Those are the ex-servicemen. We have the Civil Defense, the Peace Corps. They are all manner. We have them a lot. There are many security listings within our locality, in the state, our nation at large. But what is the main problem? It's not about putting on or bringing up on board other security agencies to come and assist. It's not like that. The main problem is the zeal and the sincerity and the truthfulness to work. We are talking about insecurity and they're talking about security. Those people that are going to be part of state police, are they sent? There was a time that a community was having an issue, a very terrible issue concerning criminality. So they went and involved security. I will not mention that name. We are on air. They went down and get some security agents to come and assist them. You know one surprising thing? Those security agents that they brought to come and assist them, they rather turn and they were the ones stealing from the community. Because we are all human beings. So when they're talking about security, they're talking about bringing this one on board, we have them enough. If they want to work sincerely, they will work. It's just the attitude of we Nigerians and all human beings. We want to play smart. If not, we have Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Police Force. If they are sincere to defend this country with their own sincere heart and be patriotic, they can do it. Rather than involving something of state police or whatsoever we talk about, we can do it. But just because of insincerity, people want to get salary now. They don't want to work. Everybody wants to get salary. When they are doing something, you want to start there and be collecting salary. But to stay there and then make sacrifices to defend your country sincerely as a patriotic citizen, there's nothing to write home about because everybody wants to get it. It's money, money, money. So unless we should sit down and think, what are we doing? If we protect this country, it's for the future of our children and the younger generation coming. If we don't protect it, then the disaster awaits all of us. That is the truth. So for me, I do not buy the idea of state police. Let them just give those equipment, the needed logistics for Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Navy to tackle insecurity. That is all. It's not about creating other security apparatus and bringing them on board. That matters. What matters is the intelligence of the work that they want to do, how committed they are.
All right.
That is my contribution.
Thank you very much, Defa. Thank you. Peter, thank you very much for your contribution. Engineer Koge, let's look at the further angles of the meeting between the president and the governors. He also endorsed the training and equipping of forest rangers for subnational governments to safeguard human and natural resources in local communities. In Benue State, for instance, we have the community volunteer guards and even the livestock guards, which are fashioned along our peculiar security challenges. How do you see or recommend the community volunteer guards and the livestock guards keying into what the president is now referring as forest rangers to safeguard our natural human resources as well?
First and foremost, as our learned colleague has said, and we have been hearing people saying, even this morning we have said, security is the responsibility of everybody. Everybody is a security officer. And if your neighbor is not secured and you're secured, I don't know the type of security you are talking about. So I know the state government has done a lot to equip the Benue State Volunteer Guard or the Rangers or whatever it is. And if the president now decides in his own wisdom to add something to the state, Benue State, Anambra State, Zamfara State, that they have this outfit, Amotekun, whatever, Obuagu or whatever they have, and he decides to add some equipment to them, well and good. Which means that the president, in his own wisdom, is looking at it that the security situation in this state is not only for the state governors or the indigenes of that state. He is also involved. Except I don't understand what you said. But if the president has decided to add more equipment to help these agro rangers, volunteer guard, or whatever name they call it, it is a welcome development.
Okay, Barrister Andy, is there something you would like to recommend from a legal perspective with regards to strengthening our security on how the community volunteer guards we have in Benue State and even the livestock guards, remember they are fashioned along our peculiar security challenges? With the federal government, the president endorsing the training and equipping of forest rangers for subnational governments. Subnational here is referring to the states.
Yeah.
How can the community volunteer guards and other local security outfits we have here key into this?
You see, as soon as the community volunteer guard was established in Benue State on the 4th of August 2022, there was a follow-up. The then governor, Dr. Samuel Otom, wrote to the president seeking permission to arm them. And I'm sure the president has now responded to that. But what the president told the governor yesterday, by implication to me, we go for an approval. He said, go and strengthen the forest rangers so that they can protect your forests against kidnappers, so that you won't be kidnapping them again. You understand? Or enclaves. That simply means that What the president should do, or what the governors should do as a follow-up, is to seek express permission for them to arm these people. And so when you arm these people, it's going to be a test case. If we give them arms, minimum arms, to secure our forest, also secure our communities, the outcome of their work will determine whether state police is actually desirable. So one of the things that I would advocate is that give them arms. Give them arms and then ensure timely payment. Ensure that the remuneration, the incentives to encourage them to do their work better. Because as it stands, sometimes they will ask you that we have been paid, or we're doing it on gratuitous basis, or doing voluntarily, we're not being paid anything. We're just doing it. They put their lives on the line. So if you arm them, and then you intensify your attention in terms of their welfare, I think they will do better. So I'm saying, one, arm them. The president should approve that they be armed. And then secondly, the president should approve that. Make sure that you give them money. You encourage them. Provide for them. Enhance the standard of living, so that whatever work they're doing it for the interest of the community they're serving. They will not look at the dangers of that work, but they'll look at it as service.
I'll come back shortly. Yes. There's a follow-up to that, but let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Well, good morning. I'm so the state police is...
Can we hear you? Can we get your name and where you're calling from? Then you go ahead with your submission.
Barnabas Anyanko.
Barnabas Anyanko, where are you calling us from?
Opposite University of Agriculture.
Okay, Barnabas, go ahead now.
We have Simba and Mantak in Nigeria being the university, but it created university state university.
Barnabas Anyanko, for the purpose of our wide audience, we will appreciate if you use English language so that we can hear your submission.
So what I'm saying is that the state police is a weapon because we have many. But what I wanted to know is when you are a state, you are indigent, you can know where the people that the service is coming from. Because we don't really miss the other tribes to come and protect our state. But for our people, we have state police that indigent can protect us. If you know what to protect us, you are safe, then you understand. So, I think the state police is a welcome development.
Okay. Thank you very much, Barnabas, for your contribution. State police is a welcome development. That's Barnabas' opinion. He's rooting for it. Okay. Barrister Andy, before we took that call, when you mentioned about the community volunteer guards, for instance, and the need for the governors to request that they be armed, in Benue, where we have the community volunteer guards,
yes.
You mentioned about the immediate past governor had requested the license to arm them. Are you advocating now that gun licensing should be decentralized in the way that every security outfit should be granted arms?
Is it not discriminatory when you say that individuals can apply and get license to own arms, and then you say that security outfits will not have it? Is it not discriminatory? That's one of the arguments that people like Falana, senior advocate of Nigeria, advocated very firmly. He said, if the government can grant licenses to individuals to carry arms, it will amount to discrimination when you say that security outfits should not have it. Because between the public servant and the security outfits, which one is putting his life on the line? So if you do it, you can still do it back here and allow them to have reasonable possession of arms. We are not saying go and give them AK-47 or go and give them very sophisticated gun, but give them weapons that will be able to satisfy the needs of the time. That's it. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong about giving them guns. If individuals can get license to acquire guns, you can give them reasonable gun or arms to be able to protect lives and properties within their communities. Because the Nigerian police is trained for prevention and detection, and then to fight crimes within for the civil society, civil unrest. That's what they're trained for. Internal security. They are not trained for external aggression. So all these security outfits or security agencies are both trained in particular areas. When you talk about internal security, it's not the military, it's not the prerogative of the military. It's that simply the police. So you are training these ones to mass security at the local level. So they are going to depend on local arms. They are going to depend on local intelligence. Everything will be local because they are dealing with the communities. And so the moment they are confronted by an issue that is beyond them, they can make reference to the Nigerian police force. I don't know whether I understand. So that's going to be it's going to be a collaborative thing. It is not going to be a one-man thing.
Okay. We hope that should be taken. Hello, good morning. Hello. Oh, we lost connection with the caller. Engineer Koga,
Yes, sir.
do you have a contrary opinion with regards to licensing for state security outfits to be allowed to bear arms? But before you speak to that, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello. Oh, we lost the connection again. Please go ahead.
There is an English adage that says, what is good for the gander is good for the goose. So if you are making a law and the law favors one person and then the law does not affect the other person, it's discriminatory, like he's quoting our learned colleague, Femi Fanala, for saying so. I don't know whether I will be right to say that that is amount to illegal justice. I'm not a lawyer, but you now do something good for one person, and then that same person, the person is doing, maybe the other one, two people are dancing very well. Then you paid one, the other one, you started beating him. It looks very strange, very, very strange. So if they can allow one person to be licensed to carry minimum arms, then how much more? A collective workforce, a collective law enforcement organization like Benue State Volunteer Guard, it should go down. In fact, their own, to me, it looks even more reasonable to us because they are taking care of a larger community than a single individual, and his own is approved.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. This is Gata Usu Paul Atachusa.
Thank you, Agata Usupo, for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Achusai Makudi, I suppose.
Yeah, in Makude.
Okay.
I want to appreciate you so much for raising this topic on air.
Thank you.
This problem has been a problem that has been eating Benue flesh for years now. And just the way they get is saying, they said democracy is for the people and by the people. And then if you are implementing law, let that law be for everybody. No need of discriminating others and then others, the law will not affect them. If they are issuing license to people, individuals to move with arms, then if the state decided and the law chamber in our state make a law and then have their security to back up that law, then there's every right for the state security to have license to carry their arms. In the north, they call it hunters. They move with all kind of guns in the forest, and we have been watching it even live on the TV, where sometimes the army follow them into the forest for in Medugri. So in Benue State too, the state has raised their own security, and then there's every right for them to have their arms to back up the law that has been implemented by the assembly members.
Okay.
To safeguard life and property of the farmers and the masses in the state.
Anyway, Agata, also now we are speaking about it in the light of creation of state police, because we remember the past administration had applied for the license, which has not been granted to date. So we are not actually advocating for it, but we are speaking about it in the light of the cause for creation of state police now. So could you please lend your voice in this direction so that we can conclude with you.
Okay, that is a welcome development. And I hope now, I believe now everything are taking shape. And if they apply now, I know they will still have license to back up their own security in the state. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Agatha, also for your contribution. We appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Of course, our time is fast ticking away, and that may be our last call for today. But let's take some few more messages before we come back and then try to conclude. This one says, "Good morning, the anchor Nathaniel Nongo and the distinguished guest in the studio. My take on the state police is a capital no. Let the federal government make do with what we already have on ground, the MPF, and that's the Nigeria Police Force. Let the federal government overhaul the police. There should be a reward and punishment for the force, as well as the country, as our character, as citizens is not good enough to give us the desired result we expect. If we can't obey the common traffic rules and regulations, how can we fix the country? If we can't punish those who disobey the traffic laws, how can we learn good ethics? There is no caution in the country. We live like a lawless state. I don't agree to the state police, but overhaul of the police force. Look into their welfare, give them the required equipment to work, and let government institutions be powerful to punish offenders of both in the Nigeria Police Force and its citizens. Ageno Tokoma from Welfare Quarters, Immaculate. Thank you very much, Ageno, for your contribution on the program. Another one here says, it is optimal as the government has targeted to create state policing, and we hope this will increase manpower through job center and job creation. Although the police are anti-crime agencies that apprehend and prosecute offenders into the court of law, thereby protecting the lives and property at the moment, as the case may be. Good morning, Isaac Utsua from EA Ngoma. Okay, Isaac, thank you very much for your message. We try to really make sense of it because somehow we appreciate you. Barrister Andy, our time is fast ticking away. Let's look at concluding issues on the program. The debate is here. The committee has been approved by the president. What direction should we go with regards to having the state police force or not? Should we or should we not?
If you take, I'm speaking very practical. If you look at what transpired within these few hours that we have been in the studio, the calls that came in for and against the establishment of state police, you will come to the irresistible conclusion that Nigerians are not on all fours. They are not in any consensus addendum as to whether they desire the establishment of state police or the non-establishment of state police. The reason is because those who are for have expressed the concern that this is a desirable, it's a welcome development. But our worry is are the state governors or certain individuals within the community or the state going to take advantage of this particular state police? That's the fear. It's a welcome development. But the moment we put in the safeguards, the moment we have the firm assurances from government that we are bringing this thing in good faith, this is in response or in answer to the call by the public that we desire this, that the Nigerian police force seem to have so much on their hands. So we desire these people who are very close to the community to monitor the community because they have better information, they have better intelligence report, they have better approaches to this thing. So they need to come on board so that they can support. Because the essence of it is simply to complement the efforts of conventional security agencies. That's the essence of why the government wants to establish the state police, to complement the efforts of conventional police or security agencies. So if they are coming in and they are safeguards and the assurance is coming from government that no, we already have our measures that are already in place for us to make sure that this thing works. we will not have any problem. But those that are against it are also the fear that there are going to be abuses and arbitrariness or someone taking advantage of it. So by and large, for and against, if the government gives us the assurances that this is going to happen, then I think Nigerians will take it, will brace it a whole hog and expect that the results will be appreciated. So that's it.
Yina Kogia, our time is up. Speak to us and give us your parting words.
Just like my our learned colleague has said, I don't know the composition of that committee, well and good.
For now, the information in public domain is it has been approved for the committee made up of state governors and representatives of the federal government, which has not been made public. The full composition of the committee has not been unveiled. But as we go along, we hope that within the week or so,
my wish and prayer is that all Nigerians should be carried along with this very sensitive issue, especially the youth, the students, the market women, you, Jonathan Nongo, myself, the barrister. Everybody should be carried along in this because the issue of security now is a worldwide problem to everybody and must be handled very, very well for protection of lives and property.
Okay. Barrister Andy, your parting words.
Yes, I wish the committee, I wish them well. I wish them wonderful, fruitful deliberations. But like he said, it is a wholesome thing. It is a critical assignment that requires every hand on board. Everyone must be on board. Every hand must be on deck to achieve this assignment. If that's what the government wants, we also want it. If the government feels that that's the only thing that can take care of the insecurity that has bedeviled this country, then it's a welcome development. But they must do it in good faith, with every sense of patriotism, commitment, and seriousness. Nigerians will key into it. That's all.
All right, and this is where we must have to conclude on today's edition of Perspectives, which we discussed the debate surrounding the creation of state police. As yesterday, President Bola Tinubu, at a meeting with the state governors, drew fresh attention to it and has also approved a committee be constituted to look into the desirability of creating the state police, and we focused on it on the program today. I must appreciate very sincerely our discussants who shared their valuable thoughts and insights with us on the subject matter. A public affairs commentator and a legal practitioner based here in Makurdi, Barrister Polycarp Andy. It's been nice having you on the program. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to also appreciate the Deputy Corps Commander, Nigeria Legion Corps of Commissioner, Benue State Command, Engineer Alex Akogia. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your time with us.
Thank you very much, sir.
And of course, when we sit on Perspectives, there's always a bigger voice behind all you hear from us on air. And that voice is the voice of our general manager, who is always there assisting Igba Obole. We appreciate our GM for his time always. We also thank the head of programs, Emmanuel Tiabia, who is always there. Thank you, Emmanuel. All colleagues who are always there assisting that this program comes on air, we appreciate you. My name is Nathaniel Nongo. Perspectives will come again next week, Monday, to focus on another issue, God keeping us. I hope you had a nice time on today's edition. And if you did, please keep a date with us on Monday, as I promise to be here to take you through on Monday for another edition. Have yourself a great weekend. It is an ongoing debate. We'll continue to follow up the development as it concerns creation of state police. Security is everybody's business. Let's be on the alert. Have yourself a great weekend. Goodbye.
inspirational music. We are Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makudi.
Thank you very much for staying with us on Argate Radio 95.5 Star FM